Hey y'all, it's Jordan Nicole and welcome back to my channel. I just first wanted to say sorry for being away from my channel for so long. This year so far, I've had a lot going on in my personal life. I haven't read one book since like December of last year, and I also had a lot going on at school, and in April and May I had final projects and papers and exams and all that. And then I moved home and I've been working a lot. So this summer my goal is to read a lot more and to film a lot more. So hopefully you'll be seeing more of me. So today I am really excited. I'm going to be doing my June TBR and my TBR for the summer Cramathon for 2018. If you want to see that, keep on watching. So first, I'm going to start with books I've already read in June. So far, I've read 2 books. I'm not going to tell you much about them, but if you want to find out my full thoughts about them, you can watch my June wrap-up, which will be posted at the beginning of July. So the first book I've read is Across the Universe by Beth Revis. I started this book at the end of May and finished it on June 2nd. This book is about a girl named Amy, and it's a YA sci-fi series about a girl named Amy who, her and her family, her mom and her dad, are supposed to be cryogenically frozen for about 300 years on a ship called Godspeed that is headed for New Earth. Well, Amy is accidentally unplugged about 50 years too early, and she has to kind of solve the mystery of who did it and stop them before they unplug more people. It's a really good book. But yeah. Then the next book I read, I just finished last night, and I started it on June 2nd or 3rd, and then finished it on the 7th. So that book is The Museum of Intangible Things by Wendy Wonder. This book is a YA contemporary book about 2 best friends named Zoe and Hannah who go on a road trip together when life gets hard, and it's a cross-country road trip, and basically on this road trip Zoe gives Hannah intangible things that she needs to get through life. These things are like gluttony and audacity and love and stuff like that, and it's a really good book with life lessons and friendship and love and travel, and it goes a lot deeper than that, but yeah. So next, I'm gonna get into what I drew out of all of my TBR jars. So I used to only have one TBR jar, and I decided to split all my TBR jars into different jars according to the category. So I have one for contemporary, one for classic, one for fantasy and sci-fi, one for thriller, crime, mystery, and horror, one for other, and then one for historical fiction. So I'm going to share what I drew out of my TBR jars. Each TBR jar is on the shelf with that type of book because I redid my shelf, so stay tuned for sometime this summer bookshelf tour. But anyway, I'm going to start with the book I drew out of my mystery, crime, thriller, and horror TBR jar, which is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So I haven't read a Agatha Christie novel yet, and I've heard she's really good, and she's like the queen of mystery. But this book is about strangers on an island at a dinner party, I believe, and people start getting killed one by one, and they have to find the killer before it's too late. So this one sounds really good, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. And then the book I drew out of my historical fiction TBR jar is Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, and this is a adult novel about a circus, and I saw the movie a long time ago, loved it, and Robert Patterson and Reese Witherspoon as the main characters, and I always wanted to read the book, but it's about a circus, and this guy who is the veterinarian for the animals in the circus falls in love with the ringmaster's girlfriend or wife or something, and they try to save the elephants. So it looks really good, and I'm looking forward to reading that one. The next one for the book I chose out of my classic jar, I chose Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, which is a very famous and favorite classic novel. And I don't know much about it, but I'm hoping it will get me more into the classic genre of literature. So the next book I picked from my other TBR jar is a Christian fiction novel, the first book in the Left Behind series by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins. Is an adult Christian series, and it is basically about people start disappearing before the rapture, and it is basically about that. And I saw the movie a long time ago with Nicolas Cage and loved it, so I'm really looking forward to reading it. Okay. That it? And then for my fantasy TBR jar, I chose Alive by Scott Siegler. And this is a middle grade series, and it is the first book, and it's about kids who wake up in coffins, and they kind of have to figure out why they're there. And a lot of people compare it to Lord of the Flies and The Maze Runner, and I've heard really good things about it, so I can't wait to read it. The last book I picked out of a TBR jar is my contemporary book, The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. So last summer I started this book and got all the way to page 216, so I'm hoping to finish this book. I remember it being good. I had a lot going on in my life, so I couldn't really get into it, so hopefully I'll enjoy it more the second time I read it. But it's basically about a girl who becomes a dog walker, and she's a politician's daughter. And when she's dog walking over the summer, she falls in love with a dog owner. So it looks really good, and I love the cover with all the dogs on it, and the back has a ton of dogs on it, and I'm a dog lover, so I hope I like it. So that is all the books for my TBR jars. Now for other books I'm planning on reading, I'm going to start with the Cramathon TBR. So the Cramathon is hosted by Allie the Hardback Hoarder here on YouTube, and some other people. I'll link their channels down below, but it lasts from June 10th to June 17th, and there are 7 different challenges you can participate in. One is read a predicted 5-star read. One is read a book that's been on your TBR for a while. Then read a book out of your comfort zone. Read a book that's our Ownvoices LGBTQIA+ book. Read a book with your favorite color on the cover. What else? Read 7 books. Read a book that's not in the regular novel format. And I'll link all the challenges below too. So the first one for my predicted 5-star read is The Star-Touched Queen by Rashani Chosky. I think that's how you say it. And this is a YA series, the first book in it. And it's about a girl named Maya who is cursed with a horoscope that promises a marriage of death. And she's a princess, I believe, and I believe it's based on India, like, folklore or something. That's all I really know about it, but the cover is beautiful, and I've heard good things, and I can't wait to read it. And then, for a book that's been on my TBR for a while, I'm going to be reading Bird Box by Josh Malerman, and this is a adult psychological thriller or horror novel about this family who lives in a world where you have to wear a blindfold because if you see this kind of monster, it will kill you or something like that. But I started reading this last year and only got 24 pages in. It was pretty good. I just couldn't get into it. I had a lot going on in my life, which is kind of the theme of these videos. But I hope to finish it during the readathon. And then for a book with my favorite color on the cover, my favorite color is teal. So I chose The Selection by Kara Cass, which is the first book in a series, a young adult series, and I've heard it's compared to The Bachelor. It's about a girl named America Singer, who being selected is a nightmare. She has a secret love with another guy, and she doesn't want to be selected by the prince. And I heard it's kind of like contemporary but fantasy and kind of like The Bachelor, so I'm really excited to read it. And then the fourth book I'm reading, I already told you about, but for a book out of my comfort zone, I'll be reading Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Again, I'm not really into reading classics, and I never can get into them, and it takes me a really long time. So, yeah, I'll be reading that one. So that is all I'm reading for the Cramathon. I don't know if I'll make it through all 4 of those books, but at least 2 I would be happy. So now I only have 2 more books that aren't a part of my TBR jars or the readathon. Or 4 more books, I'm sorry, that I want to tell you about. So the 2 books I have with me are The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Attier. This is the first book in a series, a YA series, and is based on 1001 Nights. And there's a boy king, and this girl volunteers to be his new bride to get vengeance of all the women he has killed that were wed to him. So it looks really good, that's all I really know, and I'm really looking forward to reading it, but it's highly acclaimed here on YouTube. And if I like it, next month I will be reading the second book, The Rose and the Dagger. The next book I have is The Last Star by Rick Yancey, which is the third book in the Fifth Wave series. And I read the first two books. The second book was okay, but I think it suffered from second book syndrome. So hopefully the third book is different. But if you don't know what the Fifth Wave is about, it's basically a alien apocalypse series. The aliens are causing 5 waves to kill off the human race. So yeah, I highly recommend the series, and I can't wait to get to that one. And then the last 2 books are library books that I don't have with me. The first one is the book pick for June for the Young Adult Book Club here on Goodreads. I'll link them down below if you want to join. But we're reading My Lady Jane. And then for the Addicted to YA Book Club on Goodreads, I'll also link their group down below. We're reading Olivia Twist, which is kind of a twist on the Oliver Twist story, I believe. I don't know a lot about them, but I can't wait to read both of them when I get them from the library. Alright everyone, I'm Jordan Nicole. Thank you for watching. Give this video a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. And comment down below what you're planning to read this month in June. And let me know if you're participating in the Cramathon. Bye, y'all. Love ya.